Hi, I'm Rich Wyatt. Welcome to Gunsmoke Guns TV.com. All right, Bob, so this is the 03.
It is, Rich, and this particular 03, you think of the 03 as being 1903. This gun was made right at the beginning of World War II because the story is the Marine Corps had a snowball's chance in heck of getting M1s because the Army got them first.
Sure.
And so they asked Remington to build them an 03, and Remington did. They built 350,000 of these. This is one of them. And they actually, then they started production of the 03A3, which was a similar rifle, similar action, but a lot of changes that made the gun less expensive to build.
Cheaper to make.
Cheaper to make, exactly.
Little cost savings there.
Right.
Well, the 03 is a fantastic rifle.
It is.
A bolt gun, everybody cut them up and made them into sporterized rifles for hunting. And
Yep.
Well, you could buy these for what, $12?
$12 from the NRA or the DCM.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, the National Rifleman, the American Rifleman National Rifle Association magazine actually published articles to tell you how to cut these down and ruin them, which means that there are fewer original ones left on the market. You see a lot of sporterized, some good, some really not so good. But finding an original one is really pretty tough.
Well, and these guns weren't valuable, but now they are.
Exactly.
And so, Bob, what's a gun like this worth in this condition, a 1940s vintage? Is that what year you said?
Yeah, this one was made in 1943,
43.
Early 43, February. And, I value this gun at about $1,000.
Yeah.
Now, if this were a 1917 or 1918 vintage 03 in original condition and as good a condition as this, it could be worth a couple $1,000.
Sure. Bob, I remember, and we'll show you guys one of my 03s that's in the Cosmoline in the box. And I remember trying to sell that for $1,000 one time at a gun show. And the guy kept arguing. Well, no, I wanted $1,000.
Yeah, I know.
And the guy kept telling me, it's not worth $1,000. And I said, then don't buy it. Go away. He wanted to pay $800. And I'm so glad I kept that gun. Here's the original shipping box that this gun shipped out in from the NRA. You can see the original marks here. As we go down, you can see the NRA stamp, the serial number of the gun, the shipping label from the National Rifle Association, also shipped from the Pueblo, Colorado Ordnance Depot. How cool is that? Right here in Colorado. You can see who it shipped to. Everything right there. Not only that, inside the box, of course, was the gun. Here's the original wax paper tool, adjustment tool. Inside's never been opened. You can see the staple right here. But the back's open. We can see the tool in the Cosmoline inside. What is this mess? That is Cosmoline. You're looking at the bolt and the sight and the ejection port on an 03A3 rifle. Now let us go and show you the whole gun. You can see from when we get to the muzzle of the gun, it's still wrapped. It's in the Cosmoline all the way down. Here you can see a little bit of the receiver of the gun. The Cosmoline's so thick you could cut it with a knife. You can see that the entire bolt safety sight is engulfed in Cosmoline. This is how it was original. I took it out of the box just to show it to you guys. I'm going to put it back in the box when we're done. This is how this gun was shipped, guys. When you bought this gun for $12.50. Now, I know Bob and I were talking about an 03 out there, but this one's the 03A3, a different version, different sights. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But look at this gun. How cool is that? You realize I can't use it like this. But if I were to clean it up, imagine the pristine gun that's underneath it. I never want to see that, though, because in the shape that it's in here makes it much, much more collectible. I've never seen another one of these out there. Feast your eyes on that. For you collectors of 03s and 03A3s, this is really quite a find. This is the 03 rifle, folks. Now, this particular one that we're looking at right here is made by Rock Island Arsenal. They were also made by Springfield. The difference on the 03 and the 03A3 is pretty simple. But before I touch on that, I want to make you aware of a fact that there are some of these that are very brittle and they cannot be fired. So if you have one in that particular serial number range and you've got to look that up for yourself, do not fire this gun. It is unsafe to fire in that particular serial number range. Now the difference, the sights on this gun are in a different place. The 03A3, the sights are here. The 03 has the pistol grip, the 03A3 straight stock. The bottom metal on this particular gun is much better. The newer ones are stamped out, kind of a little bit cheesier. They still work great. Now we talked about a lot of these were cut into sporterized guns, meaning they cut the stock down and they made it into something that looks a lot more like your modern hunting rifle today. And these are fantastic guns, guys. Look at the quality of what you're seeing right here and what's made. Now, when they switched over to the 03A3, these guns were made by this particular one's a Remington, and they were also made by Smith Corona, the typewriter company. So there's 4 basic manufacturers for the 03 and the 03A3. We'll get into the 03A3 later on. Now we also mentioned some stuff about pricing on these guns, and I want to make you absolutely aware of a couple things. Some of these are through the roof. Bob talked about $3,000 for the gun in the Cosmoline. You know what? That gun's worth a lot more than that, because a 100% gun is $4,500. Well, 100% in the Cosmoline with the box, with all the accessories, what's that worth? I don't want to sell it, so we'll never really know. Until I decide to sell it, you don't know what it's worth, because I don't see that many of those. And when you have what is considered a one-of-a-kind gun, it's worth whatever the guy that owns it wants to sell it for. And that's just quite simply the truth. These are beautiful guns. Let's get back to shooting them.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, I'm familiar with that gun in the box, directly from the DCM, back when there was a DCM. And, you know, it's got to be a $2,500, $3,000 gun.
Absolutely. But you know what the beauty of it is? I still don't want to sell it.
Exactly.
So I offered it for $1,000. The guy didn't take it. His loss was my gain. Thanks, buddy. If you're watching out there,
yeah.
I appreciate you being so ridiculous.
Yeah, if you're watching and you recognize this gun, nah.
Right. All right, Bob, how do we load this beast?
This gun is loaded with a 5-round stripper clip. There are 5 rounds. This
Whoa,
is
a stripper clip?
Stripper clip, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Give me a pull. This, these were designed to shoot 5 rounds. You put the stripper clip in the clip notches, push them in, discard that. Now it's loaded, and it's ready to fire.
All right, great. Well, Bob, you want to shoot that thing for us?
I would love to.
All right. Eyes and ears.
Can we get a Nazi to stand up there?
Well, they're harder to find these days, but I'm
Yeah.
sure they're still around.
I'm sure.
Okay. Just right here.
Okay.
Take that target right there, Bob.
Okay.
Show
great.
us what it does. Oh, man. Now, Bob, well, that's a nice feature. I like that.
This is a magazine cutoff. There's this little lever on the side, and if you push down on the follower and push this in and pull this down, it keeps from loading from the magazine, so you can single load.
Now, this is the safety lever on this gun, and it's a 3-position safety. You also have this lever right here. Most people don't even realize what that does. Okay, you see it says on and off. On, off. Okay? When that is all the way down, you can run the bolt to the rear and you can run the bolt forward when it's empty. When you're actually using it, you want that on, so when you run the bolt to the rear, when you run out of ammunition, the follower comes all the way up and blocks the bolt. So you know you need to drop another stripper clip in. When you put this to the middle position, that's where you remove the bolt. That's where you take the bolt out of the gun, folks. And so that's set up for cleaning and for managing your weapon system. But that is the cutoff lever that Bob's referring to.
Now, this is a carryover from the days that the upper brass in Washington were afraid that the troops would too quickly run out of ammunition, and so they made this gun like the Krag, so that you could load it one at a time, and it wouldn't stop. So if we put this on the on position, now I know the firearm is empty.
Now that's a nice thing for a soldier running this gun. He knows he needs to reload instead of having to press the trigger once on an empty chamber.
Right.
Now, the one thing we didn't mention, and I think we probably just overlooked it because we figured everybody knows, but is this a 223?
No. No. This is a real cartridge.
This is a real man
gun.
gun.
Not a 22. This is a 30 caliber, 7.62 millimeter if you want to go to the millimeter thing. But it's a 30 caliber, model 1906, 156 grain bullet in this version, and it's got some reach out, knock 'em down power.
So in common nomenclature, that's a 30-06. And as the old saying goes, there ain't much you can't fix with $400 and a 30-06.
That's exactly right. There's probably been more game killed after a 30-30 with a 30-06 than anything else.
Well, Bob, thanks for showing us your rifle.
It's been fun.
All right, have
Thanks,
fun.
Rich.
Guys, thanks for watching Bob and I on GunsmokeGunsTV.com. Please tell all your friends about us. If you enjoyed this, if you didn't like it, please send us in $10. Thanks a lot.